You've probably seen the chatter. Josh Simmons, the promising rookie left tackle who looked like a real building block, suddenly stepped away, and we're all left trying to make sense of it. So let's clear the air and start with what we actually know without getting greedy for gossip. Simmons came into the league with real hype and stepped into the starting lineup right away. And then, out of nowhere, he was added to the injury report as questionable with an illness before a game. Still played that night. But soon after, he was listed with a personal family issue and then missed a game and practices while the team gave minimal details. The public comments we saw were respectful but sparse. The coaching staff deflected and deferred to the front office. Teammates kept things private, and the reporters who follow the team have suggested a family matter could be involved. But nobody has confirmed every detail. I want to be clear to you, there's a difference between what's been reported and the rumors that fill timelines. This is the reported timeline. He was drafted, he started, then an illness listing, then a shift to a personal family designation, missed playing time, and then more silence. Fans notice because he's a starter and because the left tackle spot is crucial. But there's also something bigger here. When a human being goes quiet like this, the football stuff becomes secondary. So, before we push speculation, I'm asking you, as a fan I'd trust at the bar or the tailgate, to think about how quick we are to fill gaps with dramatic stories. That said, we will be covering the football ripple effects later in the video. But right now, I want you to tell me in the comments what you think, not to shame anyone, just to gauge the room. A for family matter, B for mental health, C for other. Also hit that subscribe button and help us hit our goal of 16,000 subs so we can keep doing calm, clear breakdowns like this, and give the video a like if you appreciate respectful coverage. It helps other fans find the same conversation. When you line up the details in order, the Josh Simmons story becomes even more unusual because of how fast everything changed from routine to mysterious. Let's start from the top. Simmons, a first-round pick out of Ohio State, quickly earned a starting role on the Kansas City Chiefs' offensive line. Through the first 5 games of the season, he was steady, physical, and already showing why the team believed he could protect Patrick Mahomes' blind side for years. Then, right before a Monday Night Football matchup, the Chiefs suddenly added him to the injury report just hours before kickoff, listing him as questionable due to an illness. That alone raised eyebrows. Players do get sick, but such a last-minute listing is uncommon. Even stranger, he still played that night. Kansas City lost the game, but at that point, nobody thought much more about it. Then, things started to shift. The following week, before facing Detroit, Simmons appeared on the report again. But this time, it wasn't for an injury or illness. It was marked not injury-related, but personal. Within hours, national reporters like Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo were citing a family matter back home in California, and saying it was doubtful Simmons would be available. That was the first sign this wasn't just a small issue. When he missed the game entirely, backup Jalen Moore stepped in and did a solid job. A few days later, Simmons missed practice, and when asked, head coach Andy Reid deferred to general manager Brett Veach. That's always a red flag for reporters. It means the situation is delicate and possibly serious. Patrick Mahomes' comment didn't clear things up either. He told the media he was praying for him, but kept the details private. Notice the phrasing there. Mahomes didn't mention praying for Simmons' family, just for Josh himself. And that subtle difference sparked new waves of questions. Some fans took it as a sign it could be mental health related, rather than a family tragedy. Others thought it meant the matter was still evolving, and nobody wanted to say the wrong thing publicly. This is where facts end and speculation begins. As of now, what we know is that Simmons hasn't returned to team activities, has missed multiple practices and games, and the organization is giving him space. What we don't know is the cause, and that's the gray area where social media runs wild. But before we go there, I want to ask you a quick question. Which part of that timeline surprises you most? The last-minute illness listing, the family report, the silence from leadership, or Mahomes' comment? Drop your answer below. I read through every single one. Also, if you like this kind of level-headed fact-first recap, please tap that like button. It helps send this respectful coverage to other fans who want real information. Here's where things start to get tricky. The moment the Chiefs labeled Josh Simmons' absence as personal and non-injury related, speculation exploded online. Some people immediately assumed the worst, whispering about drug problems, serious illness, even wild claims about criminal issues or tragedy. But when you really look at it, none of that had credible sourcing. These were just fans and bloggers trying to fill the silence, and that's what makes this situation so frustrating. The truth is, nobody outside of that locker room and front office knows what's really happening. And even the reporters closest to the team have only cautiously said they believe it's a family matter. Nate Taylor, one of the most respected Chiefs beat writers, even admitted he was fearful because the information is incomplete, not because of anything confirmed. That should tell you everything. If the insiders don't know, fans certainly don't. What gets dangerous is how quickly social media can turn uncertainty into drama. One person posts a vague theory, someone else repeats it, and, before long, it's treated as fact. The drug rumor, for example, it came from nowhere credible. No teammates hinted at it, no law enforcement reports, no league notes. Yet you'll see posts claiming "sources say" with zero verification. The same goes for those saying he was diagnosed with something life-threatening. That's not reporting. That's speculation at best, fear-mongering at worst. And as football fans, especially those of us who follow the league closely, we've seen this happen before. One day, it's a family issue. And suddenly, the internet has created a whole narrative about something completely unconfirmed. Now, none of this is to dismiss what Josh Simmons might be going through. If it's mental health, that's serious. And the pressure on young players is real. Think about it. He's 22, protecting the most famous quarterback in football, on a team that expects to play deep into January every year. That's a lot of weight. And if he's dealing with personal or family trauma on top of that, then stepping away makes sense. Football can wait when life hits that hard. This is a moment where fans can either fuel rumors or show empathy. Which kind of fan do you want to be? Someone spreading stories that could hurt a guy already struggling? Or someone who respects privacy and just hopes for recovery? Drop me a quick line in the comments. Have you ever seen a rumor blow up online and later find out it was false? You don't even have to name names. Just share what that felt like to watch. And if you agree that players deserve privacy, go ahead and hit that like button right now. It might seem small, but it helps send a signal that respectful, level-headed coverage should rise above gossip. We're almost at 16,000 subscribers, and you being part of this community means we can keep giving balanced stories that don't cross lines. When you step back from the personal side for a moment and look purely at the football implications, the Josh Simmons situation hits hard for Kansas City. Remember, this was supposed to be the team's long-term answer at left tackle. A first-round pick with size, athleticism, and the confidence to protect Patrick Mahomes' blind side for years. He earned that job right away, starting all 5 games before stepping away. And for a team that's been building toward another Super Bowl run, losing your left tackle out of nowhere isn't just about X's and O's. It disrupts the rhythm of the entire offense. But here's where things get interesting. The Chiefs' front office had quietly prepared for this exact kind of situation. When Simmons left the lineup, Jalen Moore stepped in and performed surprisingly well. In fact, some analysts have said Moore's performance could end up being one of Brett Veach's best depth decisions as a general manager. That's the kind of roster management that keeps Kansas City competitive, even when adversity hits. Still, there's a big difference between a capable backup and your franchise left tackle. Every time Mahomes drops back to throw, the margin for error gets thinner without Simmons' protection. From a bigger picture view, this story matters beyond the Chiefs. Teams like the Dallas Cowboys, who know firsthand how important offensive line stability is, will be watching closely. Dallas fans have seen what happens when your star quarterback doesn't have consistent protection. They've also seen what happens when off-field challenges impact roster plans. That's why this story resonates so strongly. It's not just a Chiefs issue. It's a reminder that even the best teams face unpredictable human moments that can change everything overnight. And honestly, that's what makes football so raw. It's a sport built on toughness and structure, but it's played by real people who can face heartbreak, stress, or trauma just like anyone else. The Chiefs will adjust, as great teams do, but you can tell this locker room is feeling the absence. Even Patrick Mahomes' tone when he spoke about it carried a mix of concern and respect, not frustration. That tells you this isn't a case of a player walking away carelessly. This is something heavier. For you as a fan, whether you root for the Chiefs, Cowboys, or just love the game, this is a moment to pause and reflect on what team really means. Do you think football culture still pressures players to hide what they're going through? Or do you believe the NFL is finally evolving to let guys take time off when life demands it? I'd love to see your thoughts down below. This is a topic that deserves honest conversation, and I want to hear your take. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support is what keeps these deep dive discussions going. Our next goal is 16,000 subscribers, and every single one counts. And finally, let's bring this home by focusing on the human side and what comes next. Because, at the end of the day, that's the part that matters most for anyone who watches football the way you and I do. You've already heard the timeline, the rumors, and the on-field fallout. So now picture this from Josh Simmons' perspective. A young man freshly drafted, tasked with protecting one of the game's greatest quarterbacks, suddenly pulled into a personal storm that nobody outside his inner circle can see. That kind of pressure can break anyone, and taking time away to grieve, heal, or handle family responsibilities is the strongest, smartest move a person can make when life gets raw. For you as a Cowboys fan, it's easy to be glad a rival is dealing with uncertainty. But remember that empathy goes further. Football is better when we respect players as people first. Practically speaking, if Simmons returns this season, he'll need a careful ramp-up, medical and mental health support, and patience from fans and media. If he doesn't, the Chiefs will continue to rely on depth and coaching to hold the line. And teams like Dallas will study those gaps and plan accordingly. On the league level, stories like this highlight why the NFL, teams, and player associations must keep improving mental health resources and privacy protections so that athletes can step away without stigma. Now for the concrete stuff, you can do as a fan. Leave a respectful message in the comments. Something short and supportive, not invasive, to show that the fan base can be human. Second, weigh in below on this question. Should the NFL create mandatory, extended mental health? Leave policies separate from injured reserve? Vote yes or no in the comments and tell me why in one sentence. Also remember to smash that like button if you respect how we handled this topic. It helps get this balanced take in front of more fans. And subscribe to help us reach 16,000 subscribers so we can keep doing thoughtful, no-drama coverage you can trust.